If we talk about this issue of branding and branding being predictability, one of the ways we have to do this is we have to build the ability to communicate our brand and others. So the sixth skill that gives you a competitive advantage is the idea that we've got to be able to train our customers so that when we're not present, they can keep selling our message and remind others that, yes, they might be a higher price, but they're a lower total cost because of this kind of impact. If we don't train our customers on how to deliver our message, which is all advertising does, is training you so that at the moment of purchase, when the advertising TV can't be there, you still hopefully will respond to the brand training you've received. So 15 years ago, we were still talking about where's the beef because we were trained to say that, hopefully when we went into McDonald's. Have it your way. We're the young cola. Look at all these commercials and how repetitive they were because they were training us as consumers so that at the moment of truth of buying, would retain, remember, and take action based on the positioning of the brands that had been communicated to us. Isn't that what you want your sales force doing? It's that same kind of process of communicating that. So part of the selling process is not just delivering a message of uniqueness, training our customers on what that message is by that repetition and the simplicity of the message. So even when we're not there and somebody says, yeah, we can get this cheaper, to say, yeah, but this is the impact it's going to have. We believe this is the lower total cost to spend a little more money. How are you training your customers to do that? That's the job of a sales rep. And as we look at this, the three fundamental skills of steps of a sales call and personality awareness and product knowledge, those make you competitive, but there's no advantage. The advantage is focusing on the tactical processes and structures to gain more proactive control. It's focusing on the philosophy and positioning to communicate a stronger philosophy, positioning, and brand in the marketplace. And it's being able to train our customers so when we're not there, the message still remains in the organization. It's still delivered to help justify why they want to buy from us. The stuff on the left-hand side of the slide just makes you competitive. The stuff on the right-hand side, that's where the edge is. But if we look at it and say, okay, it's a tougher marketplace, tougher economy, we got to do more things to make the sales. Look at how little time I would bet your organization has invested and spent working with your team on anything on the right-hand side. And if you've done anything, it's only been on the left-hand side, which is the fundamentals that's not making an impact. Part of that communication and philosophy and part of that communication of brand deals with the issue also of what makes it successful to have a successful brand. Did a lot of work as the whole issue of branding was coming about. And what I realized in doing studies on this, how do you apply this information to sales teams? You can't say improve your brand to a salesperson. They have absolutely no idea what that concept means. But we can tell a sales rep we need to improve our predictability and the consistency of the quality that we implement. What I found happen is there's 6 attributes of the most successful brands. And anytime we take a brand that's really strong in a marketplace, they tend to have most of these concepts in place. In fact, the way you strengthen your brand is you improve any of your presence in any of these 6 areas. How do we get a stronger brand? Well, we got to position our customers' expectations. What is the #1 highest quality rated airline, I think the 3rd or 4th year in a row? Southwest. The company that promises nothing. At least they're the only ones delivering on their promises. And this is amazing. Airlines, the United, Delta, all the other ones, American, all have a much higher level of service, but because they're so incompetent in how they deliver that, and they're so inconsistent in how they deliver it, that the published ratings all list Southwest as the vast majority of the most satisfied airline by passenger rating in the country, and they're the ones offering nothing. We got to position our expectations. That's part of your branding. The second thing we got to do is we got to provide the highest integrated solutions. Look what's happening. If you and unscrew a cap of Coca-Cola, there's a code inside because they want to drive you to the website to keep you connected to what's going on. They have these integrated solutions that one leads. At the end of the TV shows today, they try to drive you to their website for more of the story and additional facts. It's the idea of how do we have integrated so once we touch a customer, we have multiple touches. We are not touching them as an event, we're touching them as a process, and it's a conveyor belt. So what's your integrated process? Once they start buying, what's the next step? Or once they start talking to you, what's the next step? How do we have this as integration? The third component to this is how do we establish intimacy? Look at what happens because of the personal codes when you can go in and they have this intimacy of connection that they make you feel important. When you call up the local pizza place and because of caller ID and because of their computer systems, how do you feel when the place says, would you like your regular? Because their computer systems now show the last 5 orders. I doubt if most people sit there on the phone and say, wow, you must have a really good computer system you guys have installed now. most people say, wow, they care about me. And the more intimacy we have, the more loyalty. It's interesting, we're signing up for a cruise for New Year's for my fiance and myself, just to get away for a few days. And I haven't been on a cruise in years, but I thought it might be fun. And the cruise line we chose, I sailed on 12 years ago once. And they said, are you a member of? And they mentioned their club. I said, I don't think so. And they looked up and they said, yes, you are. And I said, yeah, I cruised with you guys 12 years ago. Well, you're a member of our club. And they start listing all the extras we're going to get because of our loyalty to their organization. And I'm thinking, this is once every 12 years. This is your definition of loyalty. But it's like this marketing piece to try to get it of, you're going to get this, and we're going to give you this extra, and you get on the ship 2 hours earlier than everybody else. And they have this intimacy to say, yes, as a special customer, you're important to us. How do you establish that within your business? The other pieces within this, the next three, are that they over-deliver and they under-promise. Look how many organizations tend to do just the opposite. They over-promise and under-deliver. And the over-promising is buttoned down by the sales force, and then the team that's going to fulfill that doesn't even understand what the sales rep's promising, so they have no idea how to fulfill what's been promised. So the customer says, once again, you told me a bunch of stuff you just didn't do. How do we do just the opposite? How do we under-promise and over-deliver? That increases the predictability and the quality of the brand. The other is we reward loyalty. And the more loyalty you have, the stronger your customers. I have friends that, because of the critical importance of the airline loyalty programs for the city that they fly out of, that they actually will take trips in December to nowhere just to make sure they get enough segments so that they qualify for the level next year where they were this last year. I apologize, I have done that. In fact, I did it where I called up and said, okay, I need 4 segments. This is when Northwest was still around. I was out of Minneapolis. I said, I need 4 segments to maintain my platinum status. It's pretty important to me. And I said, so I just want to know where the cheapest place I can fly is with 4 segments. So I flew from Minneapolis to Atlanta to Miami, walked across, didn't even leave the airport, stayed in the hotel overnight because I got in about 8 o'clock at night, flew out the next morning back to Minneapolis, through Atlanta again, and I got my 4 segments. Now, I was kind of embarrassed. I even did this at a party around New Year's, and the guy says, oh, that's nothing. He says, meet my wife. She just came back from a weekend in Paris doing the same thing because she needed 6,000 points, and she got the ticket for $300. That's rewarding loyalty. People talk about the strength of the Harley-Davidson brand because how many of your customers have certified Angus Beef on their shoulder? You know, it's that how do we give attention to that loyalty and give recognition, because that gives us longevity with our customers. And the 6th issue within this is how do we focus and promote this issue? We're not going to be the lowest price, we'll be the lowest total cost. How can you have such a premium product as you do and not go into your customers in the first call and say, of course, we're going to be more expensive. We're going to be a higher price, but we're going to be a lower total cost, because of the impact we can have on your marketing, on your customers, on your quality, on your reputation. How are your people getting that across?